Howdy guys, thanks for watching. This is a video of the approach and landing at the Johnson Creek Backcountry Airstrip in Idaho. We're approaching from the west. This is common arrival after refueling at McCall. This is looking north and then backwards to the west towards McCall. As you can see, it's a very beautiful valley that we're flying through. I don't typically think the video approaching the airport and rollout after landing is all that interesting. However, you guys have left many comments in my other videos indicating that you'd like to see this, so I'm including it in this video. We're just starting our turn towards the south, towards the airstrip now. Johnson Creek and the road to Yellow Pine are just coming into view to the left. You can now see the small town of Yellow Pine. Yellow Pine is a common backcountry reporting point and has some limited supplies if needed. From this point, we fly upstream or south to the airstrip. We're going to enter the pattern on an upwind for runway 17. 17 is the preferred runway due to runway slope and obstructions. For this landing, the wind was about 10 knots from the north, so we are landing with a tailwind. While that is never ideal, I decided that this was preferred over the obstructions of runway 35. The airstrip is just coming into view over the nose of the aircraft. Notice that we are on altitude and slowed down prior to arriving. The approach and landing are pretty uneventful, with the exception of all the big rocks surrounding you. Those rocks mean the pattern is fairly tight. High airspeed and a tight pattern just don't work very well. Of course, the wide-angle lens on the video camera makes it seem like there's much more room than there really is. The pucker factor was very high the first dozen times I landed here. But like everything, experience makes all the difference. We're now turning onto the downwind. You can see the airplanes lining the sides of the airstrip. When it's a busy weekend, there are many aircraft, and landing between them is a very neat experience. Occasionally the sprinkler system is out, and that can use up a good bit of the width as well. If you look closely, you can also see my friend John landing his Bearhawk. The other thing to be aware of are those white runway markers. They're made up from large rocks that have been painted white. Best to avoid taxiing into them early in the morning when your windscreen is partially fogged over. I normally approach at about 55 knots indicated with this RV4. If the airstrip is very short, I'll use 50 knots. I was a bit high on this approach, likely because of the tailwind, so I slipped to increase the rate of descent and use up the excess altitude. There's my friend John and his Bearhawk that just landed. And back in the trees you can just see my tent where I spend a few days camping. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video.